Hello, History 222 people. Welcome to the first week of the semester. I'm recording this on Monday morning. Hopefully, it should get out to you by Monday afternoon, just to lay the groundwork for expectations for this first week and I guess, the rest of the semester by extension. So, this Monday, this first week of the semester, what I'd like you to do is to start reading the selections for the textbook. Sorry, my my nose is like super itchy. It's very distracting right now. I don't know why. Well, welcome to this class. I'm gonna be scratching my nose the entire time. So you've got 6 or so documents to read in the very first part of the African American experience book, which is really kind of cool that even though it's really big and scary looking, we're going to be, picking and choosing what documents to read throughout the semester. If you haven't already, go to the Blackboard website for the course and take a look at the schedule and syllabus tab, and you'll be able to see not only the syllabus and the kind of expectations and where your grade comes from and all that stuff, but check out the schedule and you'll be able to see what documents we'll be reading every week. So you've got a handful to read. It's really just a few pages. We're starting you out really gradual this semester. The readings will get more intensive as we go on, but they'll also get easier to read, I think, as we get closer and closer to the modern era, where we start losing this kind of flowery language from the government of Maryland and all this. Like back in the colonial period, these highfalutin white guys would basically just try and sound smart all the time, and so they would just have really long run-on sentences that are hard to comprehend. The readings get easier, especially as we start to bring more Black voices into the documentation, into the historiography, as we start to get more records from Black voices. So what I'd like you to do for week 1 is to read those documents that are outlined in the schedule. It's super easy reading. The context here is the first Africans arrive in the Americas in the colonial period, 1500s, 1600s, and it goes about as you would expect. A lot of them come over here not of their own accord. They're not voluntary immigrants by any stretch. Although I will say this though, we don't yet have, by the time you're reading these documents for week 1, we haven't seen a solidification of a strong transatlantic slave trade yet. We're in the beginning, like the Germanization of that slave trade, where we have just hundreds of thousands of Black bodies being imported as chattel slaves to the Americas. That does happen a little bit later on, but in the 1500s, early 1600s, some of these Black people that are coming to the Americas, some of these Africans are indentured servants, for instance. Like they're coming over and they have similar terms of work to white indentured servants, where they have to serve a period of like 7 years or 5 years or something, and then after that they can be free. So we don't have the generational. It is there, but we don't have this like widespread systematic chattel slavery system until a little bit later on. There's also not the same racial ideas of the Americas as being this like white man's country where it's for white men, by white men. The Americas are this kind of uncharted, unmapped, scary place for a lot of European explorers and settlers. Native Americans dominate the continents, and they're coming into what they see as kind of a dark country, sort of an unknown space. Even as they start carving out colonial governments, white settlers and white colonials we do not have that racial caste solidified around whiteness yet. And so I just wanted to lay that context out as you start to read some of the earliest documents about Africans coming to the Americans, where it's, I don't want us to bring our preconceived notions into the very beginnings about sort of the strict racial hierarchies, because it is a little fluid to begin with. And then things, of course, solidify, and we start to see institutionalized racism really take hold in a bunch of different ways after that. And that's going to be a big talking point of experience. So if you guys have any questions about week one, let me know via email. I would encourage you to read the documents before we meet in our Zoom meeting on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. That's going to be our pretty standard time for meeting and talking about these documents. And we'll also talk about what to expect for the analysis papers or these kind of periodic writing assignments that you'll be having. We'll kind of talk about the syllabus and the schedule, and any questions you guys want to field is fair game also. But I do want to leave time to talk about the documents themselves. I've also attached to the Blackboard website under week one of the weekly modules. If you go to week one, you'll see some guided questions to help you pick out the main ideas from these earliest documents, okay? And I'll try and do that every week too, so you know what you're reading for, and we can have an intelligent conversation when we meet and talk about these things on Wednesday. I'd also like you to watch, it's optional, you don't have to, but there's a Trevor Noah bit from The Daily Show discussing a big hullabaloo that happened in the media about 4 years ago concerning the wording used for bringing black Africans over to the Americas, and how there's some slippery language used about concerning slavery and immigration. So watch that. I think that'll be a fun part of our discussion as well. All right, this video is getting longer than I wanted, so I will look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday. Let me know if you have any questions. In the meantime, definitely do the readings for Wednesday, and I look forward to a fun introductory conversation then. See you guys.